IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Well, on 28th October, around 8 p.m., luck itself, told Spain, the Spanish team, that, you know what, guys, today I'm not going to be favoring your side. I won't be with you. Let's see what you do without me. And then Spain was outclassed by English. Though they had a 2-goal advantage, they were in the lead, and many thought that, England have no chance, including me. But hey, the English proved us wrong, and they showed us why they were the dominant side throughout the tournament. Hello guys, this is the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and I had to start with their luck factor because we always said, I have Kevin joining me in the studio and Chiranjeev as always joining us via phone call. We always said, throughout the tournament, I believed Spain had that luck factor with them, and that's what drove them till the finale. But things changed. There was a good game in hand, and England definitely showed why they were a greatest side, right? Chiranjeev, we start with you today, because you were there.
Yeah.
Before you share your thoughts about the match and before you start on talking, we'll come to it very quick. 2 news updates. Let me just stress on that. One, Chennai FC will play Aizawl in a friendly game, which will happen on 6th November in Chennai. And on the other side, we have the Indian under-19 side that took on Qatar, and we lost 1-0. But I think it's a fair result. A lot of things happened, probably a red card and all of that with the Dheeraj and stuff. We'll bring you more updates on all these friendly games and once they gear off for the big tournament. Coming back to the big finale that took place in India, England played Spain on Saturday. Chiranjeev, before you talk about your match experience, share something with us about the atmosphere. How was it? How was Calcutta?
East Bengal fans stole the show, right? It was, there were literally thousands of, I think the East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fan clubs decided, we're going to show up in our club colors. And majority of the entire stadium was just filled with red and yellow, which was convenient for Spain because it matched with their colors. And there were a lot of Mohun Bagan fans too. 0 ATK shirt, by the way, not a single red I see. So the whole thing, it looked like a derby, but for the first time, nobody was segregated, nobody was fighting. In fact, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fans were sitting next to each other with their own flags, and they were just basically sometimes they both supported the same team and sometimes not, but there was no animosity in this case. So I was sitting in the press box, and for some reason I was surrounded by journalists who were all East Bengal supporters, which obviously makes the experience worthwhile. And we were joking around, even before the match started. One of the journalists was wearing a Spain jersey, and of course he's also an East Bengal fan. And I started joking with him yeah, you can win if you get a penalty. And all the teams that have red and yellow, they only get through when they get lucky and have a penalty and all that stuff. A majority of the East Bengal fans were also backing Spain. Actually, the entire stadium was mostly backing Spain earlier in the game, but they appreciated England's comeback. But it seemed like that, I agree with that comment that the moment the luck was no longer on their side, Spain just faded. And that just shows how England, just led that fight. It was, I think they've surprised everybody. Nobody really expected them to turn up with this fervor. And all the complaints that I had about England's game against Brazil, they were just washed away because in this game they showed action from the very get-go. 10 seconds in, they were creating chances.
Yeah.
And when they went down, they did not lose heart and fought back. 2-0 down to 5-2 up has to be one of the most remarkable final clashes ever in the history of all World Cup age groups and everything. It has to be one of the most memorable World Cup triumphs of all time.
Absolutely. Now, Kevin, we mentioned when we were previewing this game, we said that we would not see on the go, we won't see a full-on attack. But England, totally surprised all of us with that first few minutes, seconds itself, England was on the go and they would have almost scored.
Yeah, right in the opening minutes, they had a chance where they could have just got that early goal. But then again, the finishing was not at the highest quality there. But when Spain got those 2 goals, it sounded like more the final is over. So early in a final, when you concede 2 goals, it's more than obvious that you're shattered. Mentally, you want to just try to understand what just hit you. But all great work done by all the conditioning methods of English support staff there, because they kept the calm. They knew they could do it, and slowly they crawled the way up there. Most fantastic was the wing play of English. All the goals that came in, it was more from the wings providing the absolute quality crosses, and all it required is just to tap in, and England never made a mistake in that. Again, with Spain, they were trying to be more in the transition from the attack back to the defense, and the speed of the England wingers is what hit them. That's when you've seen both the wing backs, wingers from both wings, getting there so much space behind the fullbacks of Spain and putting in those crosses and inviting somebody to just come and tap in.
Yeah, absolutely. And also how important was that one goal that they scored just before halftime, the English team, right? I'm sure it really pumped them up. And Chiranjit, imagine what would have been the halftime talk like.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear from the English coach, Steve Cooper, who addresses this. But just to paraphrase, he said that the goal came at the right moment, the first goal, and it put England on the right frame of mind, because you go in with a particular attacking plan, and that was to attack from the minute 1, which was to surprise Spain and get an early goal. And that initially backfires, and you go a goal down, and then you concede again. So you start doubting that game plan. And all of that could have happened, all of that could have bogged England down mentally, had they not got that goal back. Had they gone into the halftime 2-0, they would have doubted their own game plan. But because they got that goal, they realized that this works. We can pull this off. 1 goal deficit is not the end of the world. And all of these boys are, I think, way more mentally developed than a lot of other players that we have seen in the Under-17 World Cup. Just take the game between Brazil and Mali, for example. Brazil got that stupid goal. That game was disappointing in so many ways. Brazil got that individual mistake, goalkeeper wala goal, tragic goal, I would say. And then, it's not like they played their best game, but Mali just got bogged down, We have seen teams break mentally so often, which happens at this age level. Even Spain suffered that when England were making the comeback. But England, going 2-0 down, did not doubt themselves. I think part of it is due to their professionalism, their training, and part of it is due to the fact that their first goal came at the very right time.
Right, absolutely. Also, we also spoke about, just like Chiranjit mentioned about Brazil-Mali game. We said that, when we were previewing this, we said Brazil-Mali would be much more, at least we were expecting that to be much more cracker of a game. But now I think it was good that they did not play the final, if that was what we were waiting to watch.
Obviously, it's a different game. The third place is something that nobody wants to play. Everybody wants to be in the final, and when you don't get that, it's more okay, it's a consolation. Even if you finish in the 4th place, it's not going to make a difference to us. So that was in the minds, so it showed on the field as well. But just talking a little bit about that game, yes, that howler from the goalkeeper, he just wanted to bury himself over there, that bad. And Brazil, the way they played, the coach's reaction said it all. It's just stupid how the passes were going. One player is not looking at the other, and the passes are still being put as if this is more like a practice game. So it never looked like Brazil could have was deserving to win that game anyway. But Mali, we're talking about how in the head they were conceding that goal. It showed on the field. It showed on their faces. Showed on their bodies. The way all efforts to get the ball till the final third, and then you hit it on the goalkeeper.
And it was
more like goalkeeping practice for him, and not even making him sweat. All the balls that he had saved was just right on his hand, and that was was boosting the confidence of the keeper, because all he had to do is just stay there and just stick out that hand. I think he just dived once or twice in the entire game. And just look at the shots on target that Mali had, 10 compared to Brazil. They scored 2 goals. All they had is 3 on target. Now that says it all. That first goal was too lucky for Brazil, and Mali was just devastated with that 2 goals that he conceded. They just couldn't find that calmness in the head to go and finish it in front of the goal.
Yeah, the whole thing was that, man. I mean, after the match, I was sort of a bit flustered by how Brazil performed, because I had high hopes from Brazil from this tournament, which is basically saying I wanted them to win the tournament. The way they performed against Germany piqued my expectations, but after the match, in the post-match press conference, I got a bit carried away. I asked the Brazilian coach Manuel, what happened to the Brazil that beat Germany? Why did that Brazil
Carlos
team show up?
Amadeus.
Carlos Amadeu. I was confusing him with the Spain coach's name. So I asked him, why didn't the Brazil team that beat Germany not show up in the subsequent games? And he said, look, we know that we could not perform well, but it's really hard to keep players motivated once they have lost the semi-final. So he said he wanted to put on a display in front of the Kolkata crowd that would represent how Brazilian football is. And despite winning the match, he said we failed in what we wanted to do, and we are sorry for that. And that's that was the takeaway, I think, from that game.
Yeah, I think in the end, coming back to the final match, we can see how clearly, not just England winning the cup, how thoroughly they dominated the tournament. 2 big awards, the Golden Ball and Golden Boot, going to their players, right? Foden and Brewster. I mean, crazy, right? That just shows how their capabilities, and you never know you're going to get future stars from this squad of England. I mean, India follows very vividly the English Premier League, so I'm sure they're going to keep their eyes and ears open for the big names that are going to represent the big clubs. But coming back to this fan inside me that was so excited to see Sunil Chhetri walk with that trophy. Get out and walk with that trophy. Man, a dream for everyone, right? Doesn't matter what age group that trophy belongs to, but just to see that sight of the national team captain, the senior national team captain, walking out with the trophy. Chiranjit, did you have goosebumps all over you when you saw that?
Oh man, I don't know, for some reason I was laughing my head off. Okay, because it was just after how India performed, and actually I had just had an interaction with Sol Campbell, who reinforced some of the ideas that I had over how much difficult it's going to be for us to get there. And those words were playing on my head, and then suddenly I see Sunil Chhetri walking out with the World Cup trophy, and the absurdity of it was just overwhelming. I mean, no disrespect to Sunil Chhetri, it's a great moment for India football as the host, that our captain gets to walk out with the trophy. But man, come on, man,
belongs to somebody else.
You know what I remembered?
Yeah.
In the 2014 World Cup final, the trophy was carried out by one of the air hostesses, that was sponsoring the World Cup, and it was literally carried out by an air hostess. And here it's the Indian national team captain. I think they could have done without that. If if it's the air hostess in the Senior World Cup.
Are you suggesting they should have got the air hostess back?
I mean, if in the Senior World Cup final it's carried out by an air hostess, then what is the big deal about an Indian national team captain carrying it in an under-17 World Cup? I guess it makes good promotion for everybody, but come on, man. I mean, I want to see us touch the cup when we deserve to touch it. Okay, under 17 or whatever it is. But maybe I'm just being too negative, ignore everything what I said.
Yeah, it's just a moment, Chiranjit. It's okay. Now that brings us to taking a short break. But on the other side, we have two gentlemen talking. One is the England coach Cooper, and the other guy Chiranjit just mentioned, Sol Campbell. So you know what's coming up next. And stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
What's the best new restaurant in town?
Which bar sucked?
What's the worst new Hindi film?
What's the most obscure thing to do on the weekend?
And what's the most interesting new walking tour?
If you want to know how to make the most of Bombay, listen to the podcast by thedailypow.com. We are Pranati,
Amit,
and Purva.
We're your guide to what to do, see, and eat in the city. You can find new episodes of the podcast every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer, and on thedailypow.com.
Welcome back, guys, and here we have two gentlemen apart from the two gentlemen on the show talking right now. We have Steve Cooper, the English coach, who will be a very, very happy man. I think celebrations will be still going on with this cup that they've had, under 17 World Cup. Let's hear what he has to say. A lot of things, including the first goal that they scored at the right time and many other things. The 5-2 thrashing, it's a big game. Let's hear Cooper.
The feeling is... I'm speechless. The feeling is a little bit surreal. I think it might even feel a bit better tomorrow once we actually realise what we have done. The players were fantastic all through the tournament, the staff. In my opinion, worthy winners of the tournament, the way we've played, the amount of goals we've scored, we've conceded, the football that we've played, individual talent, team identity, and character, personality, and to be 2-0 down in a World Cup, in my opinion, against the run of play, and to come back and win 5-2 tells you everything about the character of the English players. Why am I being so serious?
First, congratulations again. It's one of the biggest victories we get as first time now in the World Cup. Coach, do you want to dedicate this trophy to anyone? And another thing is, how do you think what's the team the main strength before 4-0 back up? How do you come back in the match? This trophy is just because the dedication is to the good work that's being done back in England with the academies and the development of young players. It's dedicated to the work that everybody is doing at the FA. These players have been in the system 4 or 5 years now, maybe not that one, 3 or 4 years. And they've been on a journey, they've been on a pathway, there's a lot of work that have gone into them from different coaches. So, for me, it's recognition of where English football not just is, but where it can go and where we want it to go. And to think that we're the holders now of the 17s and 20s World Cup is, for me, pretty special.
Steve, sometimes there's a lot of assumptions about English football. You've beaten Brazil, you've beaten Spain, and you've shown that young England players aren't as good technically, if not better, than countries that are considered to be technically better than England.
Yeah, and the results of the winning is amazing, but the way we've gone about this tournament, the football that we've played, the identity, the belief has been, for me, second to none, and it's showing the way we want to go. We've played like we want our England teams to play, like they are playing, not just this one. Our England teams play like that, brave on the ball, they attack 2-0 down and to come back and win 5-2 in the World Cup final. Not one long ball, pass, get into areas, playing as a team, and obviously good individual stuff up the pitch as well. This is the way we're going, and we have a plan that can be used in any game, and we've shown today we can do it at the very best, against the very best as well. So, while I'm credit to Spain, we've had a tough 2 games against them, the Euros and tonight.
I have to say, the coach Sandy after the game showed me enormous respect. I'd like to pay that back to him. He said some really nice things, but he has an amazing team, amazing players as well, and they'll be disappointed tonight and hurting, but when the dust settles, they should be really proud of what they're doing and how they've gone about their work.
Congratulations.
And while I'm on, I have to say, thank you to India. Thank you. I have to give Kolkata a special mention because of the 6 out of 7 games that we've played in. You guys in here, you've been really complimentary and really positive about what we're trying to do. It's been an amazing experience. It's easy to say that when you're sitting up there with the trophy, but honestly, and I nearly said it, and I should have said it in the press conference yesterday, whatever happened today, we will go back much better professionals, much better England staff, England players, and building towards the future, which is we want to know. So I'd really like to go on the record and say thank you, India, for hosting, in my opinion, a real top tournament in so many ways.
Congratulations, Coach. 2-0 down the first 30 minutes. Do you think this is the greatest comeback in the history of English football? First. And the second thing which I want to ask is that what was the exact team talk you delivered during the halftime?
It's easy to say this now. I didn't think it was a real panic. We should have scored in the first minute, was it? And we were the ones that took the initiative to Spain. We pressed a lot higher, we played forward a lot more. I know Spain's style is to build up the pitch and to get you into areas, but I always thought we were in control of the game, even at 2-0 down, and they play some good stuff, of course they will, they will play some good stuff, but we stuck to our plan. The half-time was really positive, very complimentary to the players. It was as good as what we played with the football without really having a little bit of a cutting edge at the top of the pitch. That was a message. Let's have a little bit more quality, boys, make a bit of a final pass, get some shots on goal, and then we go to score 4 goals in the second half. So, credit to the boys. They deserve what they're getting tonight. A little bit crazy in the dressing room, if I'm being honest.
Hi, Coach, congratulations. Would you agree with me if I say that you beat Spain at their own game?
We beat Spain playing our game. As I said to you before, this is how we want to play. These players are getting brought up with the football, they're getting brought up being part of the team, and England players will typify that, and England teams will typify that. So if it's similar to the Spanish way, then great, because they've been successful over the years, but this is us doing our thing our way, and to do it on the bigger stage, the player's career, is so rewarding.
Coach, in 1966 World Cup, the scoreline was 4-2, and now you are going.
You sound like you're from 1966.
Keep the phone down and talk.
Just for a second. Yeah, we will. Okay.
Now it's 5-2. Yes. So, under 20 World Cup and under 17 World Cup under your belt, young Lions will be going one better. Bright future ahead.
Sorry,
bright future ahead for the young Lions.
I hope so. This is, as I said all along, this is the development teams. We're building for the future. We're in a good moment. We're in a good way. Nobody's going to get carried away. Expectations will obviously rise now because we're the holders of 2 World Cups. But we have a long-term plan, and we are still at the start of it, only a few years in. We'll continue to the plan, we'll stick to it. Maybe it won't always be this positive or this high, but through thick and thin, we've got some long-term vision and goals of winning World Cups and European Championships at senior level, and obviously we've had a good start with that plan.
Hi, Coach. Firstly, congratulations. England and India are light years away in terms of the standards of football and playing. But as you say, at St. George's Park, you're having a real conscious effort to play the way you want to, and you're putting in money and all the resources you want to put in terms of both scouting as well as with indigenous coaches. Can you tell me what kind of India can take from as a footballing nation from the program that England is performing right now?
From the World Cup?
From the World Cup, your program.
Personally, I think and I hope that a legacy has been left in India for football. Because I have to say, when I came out for the draw in July, massive interest in football, massive passion for running a good tournament. If us and other teams have left a good impression on kids in India and the Indian team, let's not forget how well they did. I know results didn't go their way, but they played with a lot of passion and I thought an identity. Then if a legacy has been left by the tournament, then that can only be good. If that's supported by investment and interest in coach education and facilities, then fantastic. And if we've been able to inspire some kids by coming out here, then and coaches, and supporters, then we'll be satisfied with that, because obviously you don't get much support here in Kolkata. Not many people turn up to do this. So I'm sure some kids will be in the stadium and we'll start kicking the ball a bit more. That'll be good.
Hi Steve, nice one first of all. I've got something really positive for England fans to cheer for. Do you worry sometimes the age that the lads are at, that sometimes England and some European countries promote footballers a bit too quickly for their own good? And secondly, I'd just like to ask you to expand a bit on how the lads have felt with it seems like the fans really took them to their hearts here, so if you can speak about that for a minute, that'd be great as well.
The first question is, young footballers in England, certainly the ones that we're bringing into our teams, in general, are a credit to the generation. And sometimes they get a little bit of a tough stick really with too much too soon and attitude and things like that. And of course, there will be bits of that going on, but that will be in any walk of life, in any industry. I generally believe that in the academies and the work that they're doing, I think they're not just developing good footballers, I think they're developing good people, giving them good experiences to be the boys or men that they become. I'm really proud of all the teams I've worked with. Obviously, these boys have a special bond with because I've had them for 2 years now. But generally, I think there's sometimes the wrong impression is made of young footballers in England. I generally think that it's just a generational thing. It's just an era that they're in. But if you see how they train, how hard they work, how good the company is. This group of players here, they come and they sit with the staff and they interact with the adults. They show so much respect. We show it back. We're like a family, and that should be recognised. These boys have been an absolute credit to the families, to the clubs, to the schools that they've not long left, and to themselves. I'm so proud of them. And for me, they typify, footballers in this generation in England. How are they feeling now? They enjoyed their moment, didn't they? Which was, excellent. And they deserved it. I don't know what they're doing now. They're in the dressing room. There's probably a dance off and songs are going everywhere. But they showed a lot of heart. And I'm just really proud of them. Really pleased with them. And like I said, it's still early in their careers. There's a long way to go before we and they achieve what they can. But I think it's important to stand still at the moment and enjoy this.
Well, that's indeed a happy coach there, and we have another Englishman talking about summing up the whole tournament, that is Sol Campbell. Chiranjit, why don't you take us through about your encounter with him?
Yeah, it was a fan moment for me. I saw him in the semi-final match as well. So Brazil versus England. Afterwards, I managed to get an autograph from him, and then they announced, like right after the Brazil game, they said, he's gonna come and talk to you guys, and of course elated. And I got to ask the question, and for some reason, due to my twisted, misplaced sense of humor, I started by thanking him for leaving Tottenham and joining Arsenal back in the day. And then I asked him about what India needs to do to really establish themselves as a team that can play and compete in the World Cup, and just listen to his answer there.
So first of all, thanks for moving to Arsenal back then, and second, thanks for leaving Tottenham basically. Second is, the England coach was here the other day after the semi-final, and he credited the DNA project that was launched in England for a lot of the technical improvement that has happened in the youth players. So, India also has made a debut in this tournament, and for us to catch up to the rest of the world, there's miles to make up. So, do you recommend a similar kind of project to India to go that direction?
I think you have to start somewhere. A lot of other countries have got 50, 100 years ahead of India. So you have to say, well, what do we do to kind of catch up? And I think you are on the right path. Having a World Cup here for under-17s, I think that's very good exposure. Also, in Kolkata, I've heard there's going to be a training centre. And I've heard from there's going to be a few of those around the country, and that will help. And coaches will definitely help. If you import coaches in or have your local coaches be taught by other coaches around the world, and also when you go abroad and you start watching how things are done. And so I think that should be happening. The more information you get, the more seriously you take football. I think that's key. I think FIFA being here, I think they're incredible. They can help a lot. So that kind of conversation should take place all the time. And yes, time. So it will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. So, and the one big thing, you've got cricket here, and that's really a major sport here. So you've got to kind of understand that it's here. But then there's a lot of people who enjoy football, enjoy watching football around the world, and you have to tap into that. So I think the more centres you have, the more conversation you have with FIFA and other associations. I think that's what it's all about. And you have the league here now, that will produce players. I think it's good to have coaches and other players from around the world, which is happening now. So that kind of cross-pollinating will eventually kick in and help.
Well, some great insights there. That just sums up the whole tournament, right? But it also harsh facts also out there, which we know. It's a long road ahead for Indian football to be up there and compete among the best, because we need to be the best to be out there and prove ourselves. But it has been an amazing tournament. I'm sure everyone, whoever was glued on to their TV sets or got the opportunities to watch the game live, had a great time. All of us did as well in the press box. And I think it's a great initiative. Kudos to all the organizers, AIFF and everyone who did a great job in hosting this great event in India. And it's amazing for all the fans out here. So let's hope that we have a great future ahead and we march on with not just saying that, hey, we played a World Cup because we hosted it, but one day we are still in that hope that one day we will qualify on our merit and play the World Cup, right? It's always a hope and a dream, which still continues. Well, that's all, folks, from today. Hope you enjoyed the show. We are a daily show, so come back to us tomorrow. We'll have lots more to talk about Indian football, because now the focus shifts to the big thing, ISL and I-League, that's going to happen simultaneously. So let's look at that in the coming days, and that's all. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please do the honors, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get updates of a new episode. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let us know and let us know what you think about the whole tournament going about and the future of Indian football. You can also talk to us directly. Chiranjit Oja, Boza_Kevin, Sujan Matthew 94. Have a great day, folks. You can read all the stories regarding the World Cup that we've done, or ISL stories on our website, thefangrush.com. Have a great day. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.